Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is gonna be all of the uncollected boss fights with my mini account, and obviously that implies with my limited amount of champions, as well as some insanely amazing 5-star crystal, which basically I got the last missing shards for my 5-star crystal, third 5-star ever on my account, by completing this month's uncollected quest with my level 40 account. So as I mentioned before, I only have 2 5-stars so far. I only have MCOC at rank 2 and Winter Soldier at rank 1. I have about 18 or something like that 4-star champions, and my highest ranked 4-stars would be rank 4 Stealth Suit Spider-Man and rank 4 Corvus Glaive, that is also awakened with an awakening gem. And now we can see that the first fight against Hood, now the biggest problem on him was that EMP modification, so I had to play it kind of like very carefully, not to trigger dexterity at all whatsoever. And so long as I do not trigger dex, I do not get any buffs on myself, and EMP modification doesn't effectively matter. Other than that, this node also had tunnel vision, so I couldn't do the same kind of like combos twice in a row. Here I do make that mistake with a heavy attack towards the end, but the fight is already all but sealed. So this was the first boss, and we're going to be swiftly moving on to the next one. And yeah, next boss, if I remember correctly, is this Red Hulk. Now Red Hulk is quite simple. He has a backup recovery and buffet node. Now buffet basically just decided to try and out damage it and trigger as little as possible. So I brought in my rank 4 4-star Stealth Suit Spider-Man for this fight, and the goal is, yeah, just try and not trigger the buffet at all if possible, and just other than that, keep doing whatever Stealth Suit Spider-Man normally does. And the fight is relatively simple so long as he kind of like cooperates. Now there I do trigger it, we can see that he gets quite a big heal, but all in all I'm still kind of like making progress in this fight, and we are chipping him down and down and down, so it's all working out quite well for me at this point. Now I'm building up to level 2 because I want to drop level 2 with 1 charge left, because that would kind of like enable me to keep for the rest of the fight that vulnerability debuff on him. Now backup recovery kicks in, so it means we are at halfway point in the fight, and he's going down relatively decently fast. Thing to mention, I ended up doing all of the uncollected, which was actually kind of like quite a big task, because I literally didn't have a single unit spare, and yeah, so basically I had to do it with without dying, or without having to revive more accurately, which is what we did. I ended up using like 9 or 10 level 2 health potions at some point, which I probably could have done without, but we didn't use any revives at all for this run as well, so I was super happy with how well I managed to clear down Uncollected with this tiny level 40 account. Now this fight is obviously the biggest cheese of all, so this is the third boss, Punisher, with a resistor node, with aspect of evolution or whatnot. And for this fight I just brought in my 2-star Ronin. happened to have him duped, and I have sped it up immensely. I think I have sped it up like times 20, because yeah, the rest of the fight was just permanently stun lock cheese, and we didn't get a straight anywhere there. The point is, I just kept him stun locked for the entire fight, so that took a while. We're gonna see, we're gonna finish at about 798 hits, I believe. Yes, it was 798 hits, but we got that Punisher down. So far, first 3 bosses I have managed to one-shot. Now I have sped up this clip a bit as well, just wanted to showcase what I did with this Taskmaster, because this is a Taskmaster from 2.2, and he is quite annoying, and I will be making some mistakes. Now initially I tried to kind of like build my Stealth Suit Spider-Man up to level 2, and hopefully that would have let me apply that slow debuff and kind of like disabled his evade, but unfortunately I did make a mistake there, and that was quite annoying, so I just brought in the next champion in the line kind of thing, and I tried to use MCOC, and I kind of found my rhythm a bit better with MCOC, basically just doing medium light combos, a lot of dashback intercepts. Now I do make some slip ups here and there, and he will end up getting my MCOC as well, but you can see that he is at least making a dent, having some progress at this point. Probably spamming heavy attacks was a bad idea, but hey, either way, we are making progress, as I mentioned before. and he's like at 75% now, I believe, just carrying on. This Taskmaster is quite annoying, and I wouldn't want to fight him too often, and it's quite obvious that I will not be able to 100% explore all of Uncollected this month, but I am still super hyped that I did manage to get in completion with my mini account already, kind of like, what is this, day 16, day 17 since I made the account. So this is effectively the first Uncollected quest that I actually could access, because I only got to level 40 and became Uncollected like 3 days ago or so. So yeah, well pumped to be able to have completed this quest. Now that I did make a mistake and I dropped 2 level 1s in a row, but luckily I just managed to tap him slightly with my heavy attack from distance, and that saved me for time being. So 95 hits in here against this Taskmaster, and Mother goes down 99 hits, and I decided to just finish him off with Corvus. I had 1 glaive charge, and once again this is a rank 4 Corvus that I just today actually managed to get up to rank 4. When I used him to become Uncollected, he was actually at rank 2, so that's probably on me though. I should have just waited a bit before I push for Uncollected, but hey, I've never been the most patient person. But yeah, so Corvus finishes off that annoying Taskmaster, and now I'm going to be up against this Kingpin, and for this Kingpin I'm going to use my rank 1 4-star Guillotine 2099. And the fight is relatively simple, to be fair, because I already had prepared like 100 hit combo start. And yeah, the Kingpin fight is actually relatively simple. Just kind of like try and play him as if he was stun immune, bait out level 1s, and that's more or less all there is to it. Obviously Guillotine gets her combo up the longer the fight goes, and the harder she hits, and the faster he's gonna go down. So rank 1 4-star Guillotine was more than enough for this guy. Now I did take some damage there in the block, kind of like on purpose, because I just had plenty of health to play about with to bait out that heavy attack, to kind of like maintain to be safe. It perhaps wasn't like the optimal play there, but it ended up giving me an opening that I was looking for. I will end up kind of like baiting out heavy attacks without having him hit my block as well at some points, but for most part I disabled, more specifically I didn't enable Guillotine's power burn ability, because I wanted to make sure I give him as much power as possible, because that kind of helps me to push him past the bar of power, which in return lets him drop his level 1, and by extension of that lets me punish it. So that was kind of like the whole goal in this fight. Just push him past a bar of power and punish his level 1s as much as possible, hit his block or do whatever else I need to kind of like make up for those extra openings that I have to find within the fight. So now 73 hits in the fight. We can see that he's already like 60%, but he's starting to go down quicker and quicker, because obviously Guillotine 2099 can have some absolutely amazing ramp up damage. And yeah, we are definitely witnessing that right here, and the fight is not gonna be like too far from finishing out here. And we can see that first 88 hits in the fight, we got him down to 50%, and we're not gonna need nearly as many hits to get him down completely. So here he cooperates with me, throws a heavy attack very kindly, and enables me to get another opening. Here I'm again going for a level 2, because in this fight, this is the last fight of the quest, so I don't have to worry about finishing him off with the level 3, which also kind of like makes it a bit easier, because that is by far the most annoying thing about Guillotine 2099. I absolutely hate the fact that I have to try and finish all of my fights with level 3. But yeah, here you can see 227 hits, and he's already nearly down. I'm hitting his block, pushing him past 1 bar of power, going in for a full combo. I'm gonna drop my level 2, and that should pretty much be it, I think. Yes, 240 hits, the fight is over. Not too bad. Now, new Black Widow, Deadly Origins, Miss Noodle Hair and Hands herself. This fight isn't going to go as great. This is going to be the only boss in Uncollected that I didn't solo. I could have soloed it, but yeah, I just made few too many mistakes and got hit a few too many times, because her animations are like wacky, and I'm not making any excuses. I should have had it soloed. The base idea, my Colossus is unawakened and I'm not running any synergies for him, thus I will be spamming my level 1 attacks to slowly but surely kind of build up my armor buffs. Because my Colossus is unawakened, I cannot spam the level 2s, because yeah, those armor ups would just simply fall off either way. So the plan is just to kind of like parry heavy and spam my level 1s. Now there is a cool kind of like interaction with Colossus's heavy attack where he eats up that stun debuff, and basically opponents never evade the second part of the heavy attack for whichever reason, and that is like really useful in kind of like evade heavy matchups, because I can just completely ignore evade abilities with Colossus by playing parry heavy style. And as you can see, those evades just simply do not trigger, which is absolutely awesome. Now, unfortunately, I did get hit there a couple of times. Luckily for me, she didn't have the Widow's Insight active, therefore I didn't get kind of like destroyed into an oblivion. But yeah, at this point you can see that we are finally starting to make some dent. We're finally starting to get some more armor ups. Now this fight is not the quickest fight by any means, but yeah, I will still not be able to close it out, unfortunately. I was quite upset with myself about this one, because yeah, this was the only uncollected boss that I didn't manage to get a one shot with like my first try here. So well, what you can do about it, I guess. But slowly but surely we are making a dent in this Black Widow by playing very patiently, kind of like always want to be wary of her like animations. But again, I got kind of confused by her medium hits now again, because they're like double mediums, and I just let go of my block. And yeah, so sometimes these kind of like new character animations are a relatively big problem. But at this point I'm at like 12% health, and I'm just decided to try and go for it the best I can, try and deal as much damage before I get KO'd. Now the one thing that looking back at this I probably should have changed would have been the fact that she's an Avenger and my Corvus had an Avenger charge already active. So I probably would have just tried to bring in my rank 4 Corvus instead, because he would get 30 glaive charges, and I'm semi-confident that with 30 glaive charges I could have possibly gotten her down. But yeah, either way, so this was the road that I kind of like chose. This is a rank 3 Colossus, by the way. It's not like rank 4 or anything like that. Yeah, it's just a rank 3 Colossus. Also, I think at this point I did activate a 20% champion boost when I started this quest, if I'm not mistaken. I used it for like last 2 parts, because like when else am I gonna use them, right? This is like the hardest content I have done on my account thus far, and yeah, worked out quite well. As I mentioned before, we didn't need to use any revives, which I was super happy about. And here we have done relatively well. The Black Widow is about halfway down, but here I don't know why I went in, it just kind of like all went into a blur. So now we're gonna quickly just select Corvus. And yeah, Corvus has 3 missions complete, including the Avenger mission. That means that I have 30 glaive charges. I don't have to kind of like use them sparingly. But in this video, we're going to see that physical resistance bug is kind of like still active. Whilst I have 1 armor break, I deal like 2000 damage on hits. But if I have 2 armor breaks active, it goes down to 700. So I do not know why. And this bug has been in the game for like ever. But yeah, we can see that my mediums normally hit by 2000, but if she has 2 armor breaks active, then they only kind of like hit for 700 or 800, 798. And obviously the special damage was reduced as well. So it's kind of weird. They kind of have done some patchwork fix, but still haven't sorted out the root of the problem there. You see 1 armor break, 2k damage, 2 armor breaks, 800 damage. So no clue what's happening there, but it's just plain wrong. And now the last boss obviously was Red Guardian, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I just brought in my 3-star Quake. And obviously the fight took a while. This fight again is fast forwarded quite a bit. I think the speed is ×8. But the coolest bit is that I did manage to finish this fight with a full yellow bar, so without taking a single point of block damage, so I was well happy with that. It's always kind of like a nice feeling for a Quake player to finish out the fight with a full yellow bar. And obviously Red Guardian's quite stacked as an uncollected boss, and yeah, 3-star Quake was more than enough to deal with him. And that leads us to this final moment, the 5-star, man. I have been waiting for this 5-star for quite a while now. I've been sitting on 2 5-star champions on my account total for a bit, and here I put it on the spinner. And yeah, obviously so far my 5-stars are MODOK and Winter Soldier. Now, I do not want to complain too much about MODOK because he actually has been quite useful. Obviously, he's far from the ideal initial 5-star for your account, but all in all, respect the bubblehead. He has put in some work on my account, so I don't have much bad to say about him. Now, Winter Soldier's unduped, and I do not have Killmonger of any rarity, so for now, Winter Soldier is still at rank 1. Obviously, if I get Killmonger, then his usability will heavily improve. But up until such time as I do have Killmonger, he will kind of have to sit on a shelf for a bit. And now we can see that the crystal is stopping, and what do I get? It's a 5-star Aegon, man. It's Aegon. Oh, I got already immediate death threats, basically, by people expressing them on behalf of Katie Candy and Brian Grant. But yes, my baby account got 5-star Aegon. And thanks to the rifts, there is a very good chance I'll be able to awaken him within this month, so I'm super pumped for that, and that's basically my ticket to Cavalier and maybe Labyrinth in the near future or whatever else. So super happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, then definitely hit that like button, hit that sub button, and I will catch you guys shortly. See ya.